Hi, my love, and welcome to Yes to Life podcast, a podcast about soulful living and sacred feminine embodiment. It is a podcast about following our dreams, open up to our full potential, and saying yes to life. It is also a podcast about remembering the sacredness of the female body and the feminine essence. My name is Helena. I'm a mother of 6 beautiful children and a sacred, sensual and feminine embodiment guide. I help women in all stages of their lives to love, adore and understand their female bodies, to celebrate their feminine essence and to awakening their inner goddess. I'm the founder of Blissful Feminine Flow and the creatrix of programs like Yoni Flowering, Womb Bliss, Sacred Bleeding, Blissful Mama, Pleasure Queen, and Sacred Feminine Body Love. I have always been very open and sensitive and have a feeling that more is possible. Beside my deep love and curiosity for the female body and the feminine essence, which I got mostly from my own pregnancy, birth and motherhood, I am also very fascinated about people who have dared to walk their own path and follow their dreams and are showing us that more is possible. I can see the power of us coming together and have these deep conversations about the things that we care about. I can also see the gift of listening to these deep conversations. That's why I started this podcast. If this touches something deep within you, please stay tuned and let's get started with today's episode. Hi, my loves, and welcome to another episode of Yes to Life podcast. And in today's episode, I'm here with my absolutely amazing and gorgeous guest, Ana, a woman filled with bubbly joy and deep wisdom. I love her way of sharing her gifts into the world, and she keeps surprising me with all her knowledge and deep wisdom, together with her unlimitless joy. And I love how she is inspiring us all to step out of our comfort zone and expand and allow our joy and our uniqueness to be shared and felt by the world. So I'm so looking forward to sharing our beautiful conversation with you. Let's get started. So, welcome, my loves, to another episode of Yes to Life podcast. And with me today, I have absolutely gorgeous woman, an amazing goddess and queen, and she's so bubbly and filled with life and feminine radiance, and she's touching me deeply. And at the same time, she has this deep wisdom that comes through like a surprise in the beginning, and then you know that she has this deep wisdom and also this radiance and bubbly joy. So I'm absolutely looking forward to this conversation. Welcome, Ana.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this beautiful and bubbly introduction. I feel so seen by you, Helena, and for everyone here in your audience. I'm so excited to go into this journey together and chat about the topics and everything that comes up. I cannot wait to be here. A full service for anyone listening. I'm so excited to get to know you as well.
Yeah. And for me, you have this, as I said, this bubbly, juicy radiance and joyful expression that I can't even put it into words, but it's just awakening something inside of me and giving the permission to all of us women to also let go of these heavy programmings and let this this feminine essence come through, and also this deep wisdom. So for those who don't know you, would you please speak a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure, totally. It is my pleasure. So, my journey, I am currently a sacred feminine mentor for wombpreneurs, which I call the women that are entrepreneurs and they are in business, and for medicine women. So, I'm on a journey in the planet to awaken to the power of every single one of us, of our womb, our cycles, and not only that, but also our sacred sexuality. So I teach about financial liberation. I teach about building a life of freedom at your own terms, being the embodiment of that sacred feminine radiance and expression. And
Yes.
the basics of my work is related with science. So I'm bridging science and spirituality because I'm a former molecular biologist. I did my master's degree in oncology. I started my PhD. And then I left everything behind on a one-way ticket to India. I became a yoga teacher and I went through a huge spiritual awakening there, living in India for 6 months and then traveling the world, going to Bali, Australia, Canada, Mexico, Guatemala. So I went on this deep immersive journey that catapulted me to be in a journey of conscious celibacy with myself and mastering my own sexual energy. And this sexual energy is creative energy. So then when I started my business, I was really seeing that I was in that mental masculine space of too much doing and too much in my mind. And I saw that so many entrepreneurs were also in that mindset and they were not opening up to receive the fullness of life through pleasure-led living, right? It's like from the hustle culture, my mission is to create a new paradigm, a new earth from a space of like, you don't need to suffer to make money. You can be all of you in your feminine radiance. You can pause when you're bleeding. You can respect your womb cycles. And that is the essence of being a sacred feminine leader. So that's what I describe myself as, and my mission here to birth a new earth, to birth a new paradigm.
Yes. Yes. It's touched me so. It's so beautiful. And to just have the power or the courage to say these words and to express it with such a yes, so it is. It's not sometimes we have to do this inner work to come to that expression, because we have these layers upon us that is holding us back. So it's so beautiful, and we see each other, and when I see you, it gives, you can see what this is giving all women permission to do that. And we are not meant to do it the way most of us have been taught.
Yes, 100%. And it is almost like this inner reclamation that has to happen to break free of that programming that resides in our mind, right? So that we are like, okay, we are being programmed and taught into a reality. If you make money, you're greedy, you manipulate people, you trick people, right? But there is a new way of doing also business, of also mastering your creative life force, which is also your sexuality and how you channel this sexuality for something greater than yourself. I feel like that's such an important anchor.
Yeah. Yes. And also, I can see when I started to work with women, I started like as a helping them through birth and pregnancy. And then I
Mm.
saw we were working with the Yoni, and I saw the deep connection with our self-worth and self-love and our power and our wisdom. Oh, it comes from the Yoni and the womb. And then I started to work with women in all aspects of life, and how we can't reach this wisdom through the mind. How do you see when you're working with women?
I love this, and I love this question, and the fact that you are, through giving birth, you started to also teach others the power of the yoni. For me, yeah, like in Sanskrit, they say the yoni is the gateway, right? It's the sacred portal. And for me, that's a missing link with other women that are in business or that they are creating their own lives. I feel like it is this main disconnection of, making this space for all of us. This space is the one that gives lives. It's so sacred. And through my own research, the womb, I see the womb as the portal to the quantum field. So I bring a lot of metaphysics because we have the two ovaries that create a spiral like a Fibonacci sequence, and the meeting point is a 0 point field where a new soul can be downloaded into physicality. So not only physical souls like babies can be downloaded, but also projects and creativity. And the old way of doing business, for instance, is very much into that. I'm going to manipulate you to trick you into buying and to, I need to save you and you need me kind of energy. And in this new way of doing business, for all of us women that we want to tend to our families, we don't want to just to be the boss babes. Yes, a lot of us, we are very like, dedicated to our mission, but this is not the main thing. We want to live a life of pleasure, taking care of our families, making our families a priority, right? And enjoying our clients and our client relationships as something so elevated. For clients that have amazing questions and for clients that they are sovereign and they don't need saving, right? And that comes to me when you understand that you're the sovereign creator of your reality, and then you tend to your womb as the portal to that power. And that's why in a lot of my courses, we focus exclusively on sexuality, embodying sexuality with divinity. Every time that you connect to your pleasure, you see it as an exchange with the divine. And also when you exchange it with another being, it's something that you do it from the heart and from an expression of divinity. Also, every time that you launch, I talk about launching your courses like you make love. Just enjoying the process of launching as this experiment with the universe to see which amazing clients will they join. But that all comes tying back to worthiness. When you feel worthy and your work is worthy, you know that you're going to provide value. Therefore, you don't need to convince others, just like in dating, you're the queen. You know that you are bringing that feminine energy and it's already healing and so nourishing. I don't need to do anything else, but just be in my feminine expression. And that's why I believe that also this way of doing business, it's so different than the old paradigm of masculinity, chasing for sales, closing sales. I'm going to handle objections I never handle objections. If like, when it's your best time, you have your own womb. If you have to ask in your family, trust it. Also, I'm going to call out your fears. I'm sensing that you have fear and resistance, and that's normal. I'm going to say it out loud, but I'm not here to convince you. And when you join my spaces, it has to come from a full body womb, yes. And because I have this integrity in my sales process, my clients that join are really powerful self-led women because I see them as equal. So I don't see them as someone to save. And that happens through the embodiment of sexuality and the yoni. So, like just to tie it back to your question, the more you connect to the portal of creation, you become what I call the temple keeper of that cosmic portal. And as you embody your sexuality, you do yoni gazing, you literally connect to your yoni from this lens of like, it's just so beautiful. Contrary to popular belief that it's called down there and it's wet and it's smelly, but actually when you see your yoni as something so divine as this portal of creation, everything shifts.
Yes, everything shifts. And it's hard to explain if you haven't experienced it. And that's also, I think it's 4 years now since I created my first online course, and it was called Yoni Flowering.
Wow,
Because
beautiful.
everybody was starting to talk about the Yoni, and I saw that that's where everybody wanted to go with me. So I thought that, oh, maybe I do Yoni Flowering. And the women who were taking it, they didn't know that, they didn't even know what they were seeking, but they just felt that something was calling them, and their whole life was changed. And then they said, I can't explain this to the people that haven't experienced it, because that's beyond words. It's something that you have to feel and experience. But you have such a beautiful way to talk about it, and it's a beautiful way to put it into words that is so juicy and so alive, that makes me both want to smile and to cry happy tears at the same time. So so beautiful. And as you say, it is the portal of creation. Yes. And also, have you read the book Vagina of Naomi Wolf?
No, I haven't, but I heard a lot about Naomi Wolf, but I haven't
Yeah.
yet. So
Yes.
is it good?
Yes, it's really good and so beautiful. My man, my we are not married, but he's my man.
Yes.
He is really interested in sacred sexuality and also
Mm.
in the female body, and he's always been curious about it, and it's like his Bible to read it. And
Love
it's
it.
so interesting to see that that's not just we making this up. You can really see the science behind uh, the vagina or the yoni and our self-worth, for example, and the orgasms and what it's really doing with our brains. And maybe that is
Yeah.
something that you also can see because you have that background too. That's magical.
Yeah. I love this because I totally agree that, the blossoming of your yoni, it is almost like an opening. And in reflexology, I would love to add this because in reflexology, so just like in reflexopodology in the Chinese medicine, there is different meridians throughout the body. The yoni and the vagina has different points that store different emotions. For instance, the labia, the lips, are related to shame and guilt. So the closest the yoni is, the least it can be penetrated, not only physically, but also by life. And, for something like I'm currently running a program called Blossoming of the Rose, which is also about, embodying this Venus energy, which is about blossoming into pleasure and receiving not only, when I also talk about orgasms, I don't talk about, when I talk about pleasure, I don't talk only about orgasms. And sometimes I even invite my clients to not orgasm, right? And to really be in the journey of enjoying. And I love that your man is so into that. That makes me so happy to know that you're having this beautiful, for sure, like love making ceremonial spaces. That's so, so important because when you get to relate with yourself in this way, you get to start opening the yoni, the labia starts to open, which is shame and guilt. And then you start to do massages in different areas of your yoni with a crystal wand, for instance. And this is something I guide my clients into, which is you're not using these practices to obtain anything, which is the old paradigm of pillaging the earth, obtaining things from her because we are her. So it's like we're not here to obtain an orgasm. We're not here to take, and for men to need that they need to provide orgasms for us. And it's like, oh my God, yeah, like you need no, it's more on the energy of like I open myself to receiving every single touch, every single caress, and for us to really feel into the emotions that are stored in the vagina. Because, for instance, the cervix is connected to the meridian of the third eye, the pineal gland, pituitary gland, and also the heart. So whenever you are penetrated too deeply and your heart is not emotionally connected and open, it hurts for some of us, right? And it's like, that hurt. It was because somatically we have sometimes hatred or we have resentment, and those emotions are stored in different areas of the yoni. And this is something that it can be checked scientifically also through the science of connective tissue and the subconscious mind. Is something that actually it's proven, and you can look into that, right? So there is a lot of scientific base on the importance of how you start to soften the tissues and open the tissues, and how you start to welcome in the pleasure of being alive. Just like with every breath, you can experience so much aliveness.
Mm. Mm. Thank you, Anna, and so beautiful described. And I think we are, or many women that I meet, and also for myself, it's been so, it's have been a fear of not only the pain that maybe have been there or the shame. I think many women just now that I meet is talking about shame, deep shame for the pleasure, for their bodies, and for, as you was talking about, the money or the life, living life with joy. It's such a deep, deep shame about it, and also the fear of feeling the pleasure and the beauty of ourselves. So it's made me so happy to hear all the things that you do too, because every woman that is waking up or allowing herself to blossom are spreading these ripple effects over the planet. So beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. And for bringing the aspect of, yeah, like a lot of us go through this deep shame, right? Shame to enjoy our pleasure, which is our birthright. We're born from an orgasm. Why should we feel shame? It's because sexuality has been perverted and we have removed divinity from sexuality, the same way we have removed divinity from money. And money is seen as something dirty because it has enslaved humanity for so many years. And it is a mean of exchange, but money is just freedom and creative potential. If you do, and you have integrity in your sales process, you're not here to manipulate people into buying from you. I know that for a lot of us that are here for a big planetary change, we want to, for things to be accessible, right? Like we care about planetary healing. And that's why we create spaces just like this podcast, which is for free, just because you want to serve, right? You want to show up in your, and bring, people and talk and have these deep conversations. Maybe you create free masterclasses or, small immersions that are, like very accessible. And that's beautiful. And we love to do that. This is, to me, the anchor of a generosity-based business model. But then beyond that, we also get to charge high ticket. We get to have courses that are mid-ticket or courses that are 5-figure offers or multiple 5-figure offers, which is from the lens of scarcity and the matrix. It's almost like a glitch in the matrix. Who do you think you are to charge high ticket? However, there's people like me. I love investing really high on myself. I love to invest high ticket. I've invested more than 60K, 70K in my mentorship spaces because I see that the moment I bring in and I invest in myself, it comes back always tenfold. So, it comes to this lens on money as a tool. And I love to see money as water because the more you allow for money to go out, you're also welcoming it in. And there is no shame in saying that you love money because money gives you freedom. However, if it comes from a space of greediness, right, there is shame if you are going to trick people into buying from you and manipulate that. We don't like that. We are not that. But if you are having free offers, low tier offers, and then high ticket offers, you give a space for your clients to dive into your business ecosystem and say, okay, I actually want to go into your mid-ticket, the $2,000 course or $3,000 course, or actually I want to join your mastermind for 24,000 a year. And it becomes this almost like this money game that it just creates potential because nowadays money does not equate to gold in the bank. They've printed so much money, it makes no sense. And of course, for people, it's really hard because there is, like I was born in a household by a single mom, and she had to work many, many different jobs. And so for me, money equals survival. I had to survive. And whenever I started to make money and have my first 5-figure months, then I would go into sabotage because I believed that in order for me to have money and make money, I had to suffer. So this reprogramming for a lot of us comes really deep. I don't know if you can relate or in your journey of like this journey of sabotage. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I absolutely can see I can feel the energy, and I can both see it in my own life and also how it relates to pleasure. So I just want to share a little bit about, before I started to go into this work, I was in my life, everything that felt good was dangerous, and was like I thought that I had to suffer, as you say, suffer like training and hurting my body to just take away everything that was good. And the more I put pressure on her, the I thought that I was a better person, and that was good. And then I started to have some touching therapy, and she touched me, and then I had to say, oh, don't touch me. I have to really be in my body. So I cried and I cried and I cried, and then she kept on touching me. So I really had to do that deep work to stay in connection with my body, and started a new connection and a new relation to pleasure. And it was so scary, and so it almost felt that I had to throw up. It created so much fear inside of me. And also now when I met my man, and he's really open to pleasure and open to sexuality. So he has helped me so much to hold that space of no shame and just hold the space. And sometimes it has been so scary for me, and he has just held me in that and helped me through it. And I also can see that habit of sabotaging it when it's too good, or too pleasurable, or too kind, that life is too kind, that it's, but I have to do it the way that maybe my mother and father was teaching me, not verbally, but in their ways. To I have to suffer like them, because otherwise I cannot have something that they didn't have. And that's also so deep rooted in many of us. And it makes a sense when you're talking about it, and I can see that it's together, weaving together sexuality, pleasure, and money.
Totally. And that you're talking about like going into a journey of self-touch, right? And training your nervous system. It's been so huge, and I've seen so many clients transform. And I have some of my clients that at the beginning I talk about, connecting to your pleasure, but don't make it sexual. And at first they get really confused of like, okay, but what do you actually mean? And then I guide my clients through the journey of literally like touching their bodies slowly. And that alone shifts the nervous system. It shifts from being into sympathetic stress, fight or flight, survival, into I am safe, parasympathetic, rest and digest, this where you're feeling safe and open to receive, right? So your ability to receive also more clients, to feel safe in this new life of financial liberation and this new life of because the body holds that trauma of our upbringing, of our society. It almost, when it feels so good, just as you were saying, you had to retrain yourself. Myself also, I had to retrain and say, hey, I am safe. I am safe to receive. And that's why I love to bring pleasure, especially throughout the launches. I have my Temple Mastermind, which is a year journey where, for an entire year, I help you go through the womb, through the pleasure, through the business. But really, I love to make it a year because it's a whole reprogramming that it takes time. I have, for instance, my Wombpreneur Academy. It's 8 weeks of business acceleration and already has amazing results. But where I see that people fully thrive is when we go for a year, because then they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know how deeply embodied I could be by once a week doing a Yoni egg practice, or once a week having at least a breast massage every time that you shower and oil yourself up, and just having this somatic awakening of like receptivity. It can bring you back into safety consistently, because we cannot avoid the self-sabotage, because we actually lived very real things. A lot of us have experienced sexual abuse, or in a very harsh reality, maybe family members or things like that. Some clients, this lack of presence when it comes to being penetrated as well, because men learn also from porn, right? Not all, of course, but we all have been programmed into this mindset of obtaining and chasing for the milestone or chasing for the orgasm. And it is a deep reprogramming, which I always say it starts with you and your own connection to your womb, to releasing the guilt for resting when you're bleeding, just receiving from life and feeling worthy of not needing to give anything in exchange. And that is the essence to me of opening to more money coming in. And, when we talk about money, it's not for the money per se, but the money gives you freedom and also ability to change the paradigm. So if you are a billionaire and I'm a billionaire and we have big dreams for instance, with the women that we work with, I have a dream of creating like a menstruation rite of passage for teenage girls and make it a nonprofit. I want to create a spiritual school for children, right? I want to create all of those things that we're you becoming a multimillionaire, yes, helping others, yes, accessing, making your work accessible, because we care that absolutely anyone can receive the transformation, but also knowing that when a client exchanges, invests time, energy, and resources energetically, they are putting in that energy, so the transformation will also go that way. So if you pay $3,000 for a 3-month course, you're going to show up, or even $10,000 for a 3-month course, I bet you're going to show up. If you pay $300 for a 3-month course, maybe you're going to show up the first month. Some of us are really stubborn, and we're going to show up no matter what. But a lot of the people, like, it's going to be like the commitment is less, so the transformation is also less for you. So that's why I love to say that we also are pricing for the activation that our clients receive. And it is actually selfish not to have high ticket offers to give those activations for our clients. And then it comes tying it back to the worthiness. Who am I to charge this much? Why me? Why will I be able to deliver? And all of those negative beliefs that comes to the sense of worthiness. And why I say that, yeah, connecting to your pleasure and your juiciness is what makes you feel that just because you're alive and you're an embodiment of the goddess, you should be having unlimited resources, because that's what Gaia, what the planet really is unlimited, with unlimited fruits and plants and water, and it's just like abundant, and that's our birthright as well. And where we live today is in the realms of money. So let's reclaim our right to be so abundant, because when we are abundant and we have good hearts, we're gonna share this abundance with everyone else. And I feel like that's like, releasing the guilt and the shame, because yes, whatever you need for the expenses for your family, for the luxuries, if you want luxuries, you want to buy a nice house, a nice car, there is no shame. And beyond that, if you receive millions, what are you going to do with that money? I know you're going to have so many ripple effects on the people in the planet.
Oh, yes. Yes. And I love how expansive this conversation is, because I have struggled with that.
Yeah.
Because I have started talking with the wrong people. And as you say, when you're filled with, that's what I was saying before I pressed record, that I feel so filled with fertility. I want to birth many babies, but also so many projects and creations in courses, and as you said, uh, centers around the world, and you just see potential and creative yes, potential in everything. It's just bubbling from the inside. It's unlimited source of Shakti and the creative goddess. And I have recognized that I have started to shrink that and to press it down, because people around me don't understand what I'm doing, and they don't understand what I'm seeing, the vision and the great big dreams. And also, how do you think that is going to work? And when you're so deeply connected to the womb and to the intuition, you can see and feel things far before they are in the real life. And to keep on nurturing them and saying yes to them. And I also just want to say a little bit about what you were saying about the pricing of offerings, because I can also feel that if I set a lower price, both that the clients they are not putting the whole soul into it, but I can't really channeling down everything that is coming either. It's like I have a smaller container. So if I expand it, I can see that, oh, now the channel of me is also getting bigger.
Totally. And because you open up to, accessibility is really important. We want to share this message. That's why we create free content. That's why we create free masterclasses, podcasts. There is so many resources. If someone wants to learn from me, from you, they can find the resources already. So it's not, if they want to, they can binge everything you've ever created and already receive so much value. They can already start to implement, and they're going to receive the value. They don't need to invest energy if they don't want to. However, when we invest energy is when we see the real transformation. So I know it is a service for me to also allow for my clients to invest in themselves through the courses that I create, right? And for me, I also went through this deep, shift within me of feeling guilty. I started charging $40 for an astrology reading. And I was like, who am I to charge $40? I was doing yoga classes on donation, and because we're coming from this paradigm, especially for me, I was in the yogic ashram. They teach you about the nothingness, right? And this path of non-materialism, which to me, it is a matrix in itself, because spiritual people shouldn't have money. No, that's not true. Actually, spiritual people should have money. That's who they should have, women with good hearts. Because for us women, everyone is the children. It is another mother's child. So we don't want to harm anyone. Deep within, especially for us women, when we come into power and when we have this money, when we have the wealth, we will get to redistribute this wealth in such crazy ways that the goddess, the Shakti, is moving through us. And it all comes down to worthiness. Yeah, okay, she can charge a 5-figure offer, but why me? Why because you don't fully see the value, and that's the journey, right, of embodiment. But for me, at first, I couldn't see the value, and I did the subconscious reprogramming work. So I don't, my God, that feels too scary, and it doesn't feel safe to charge that much. Therefore, I'm not going to charge it, because I know the power of my work. So what I choose to do is actually say, okay, that's edgy. Maybe that's too much for now, but I'm going to stay down here a little bit. I'm going to calibrate and do the subconscious reprogramming work to actually be there and to claim that and to feel all the emotions of unworthiness of who am I, how am I going crazy because the people in my life don't get why am I investing multiple 5 figures into a mastermind. They don't understand that. And because they cannot see your vision. And it is so brave to go after this vision and to allow yourself to charge high ticket and really see how it's not really about you, but about the activation that you offer your clients. And for me, like for instance, my mastermind, it's a 1-year journey. Right now it's 24,000 for the year. It started as an 8,000 course for 6 months, the first round. But it was like this journey where I was like calibrating, and it was an edge for me to charge 8,000 for 6 months. And for some people listening, it may be like, oh my God, that's too much. And for others, it may be, I know that's nothing. Why? Because when we are anchored into the matrix, what I love to call the matrix is this matrix where we exchange time for money. Of course, for someone that has a salary of $1,000 or $2,000 a month, I'm coming from a country of like Spain. So I understand, the salaries here. And for me, it has been so huge to break through the ancestral patterns of scarcity. So it's like people around is like, I am having like 1,300 euros a month, and that's what I receive. And you're charging this like more than this a month to be in your space. Like it's crazy, right? But that's how we transcend, and that's why our work is not for everyone. But that's why, for instance, I love to create experiences that are a couple of $100s, and a lot of my clients end up converting from these little immersions into my higher offers because they see so much value. Already, maybe we do a 1 week immersion where they paid $80 and they are like, in this last launch that I did of the Wombpreneur Academy, which is my 8-week business course, like I had literally like 4 women join the last day of the launch after doing a week together in an immersion, which I called Selling Seductress, to become the seduction in sales process. And literally the last day, I didn't even post. I went into a festival. I trusted that I delivered. I trusted in life. And I'm telling you, because I was enjoying so present with my life in the festival, singing, enjoying myself, I didn't even post. Normally, I would be very much controlling and trying to post every single day through the end of the launch. I didn't. I posted once in 4 days. I was like, I'm trusting. I delivered. It was amazing. The last day of the launch, 4 women joined. You cannot plan this. That is
No.
quantic. That is the womb.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And also, I can feel that when in the moment I go into that um, planning, I lose my joy and I lose my connection. So it's not worth it there. I just want to
Okay.
say that I think when you're talking about money, I can also see this with women and the relation to both pleasure, but also to men. But we feel that, oh, but that's too much. If he loves me that much, or uh, if he can hold me, or if he see my greatness so much. Oh, but I can't receive that. So I can see that we have to open up, and like your program that you have now, blossoming, it's so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. And this opening comes with trusting in life, right? And trusting that we are being provided for, that we're gonna have all the resources. And it's like I trust my creative ideas and I see them. And then I show up. I don't know how it's gonna look like. I detach from the results, but I'm gonna keep showing up because I see the bigness of my vision, right? Like I'm currently celibate I haven't made love for 3.5 years. And it's been such a beautiful, juicy journey. I've never been as sexually alive and turned on by life because I have my own beautiful practices. And now I'm in this journey of like, I'm ready to give birth to many children. I'm ready for my mind to find me. And at the same time, I'm like, I'm not lowering my standards. I know I want a provider man that is going to provide for me so that I don't need to work. I'm going to still work because I love my mission, but not because I have to, right? To
Mhm.
provide for my family. Where in past relationships, I was the one providing and paying for things because I had deep abandonment wounds from the masculine and I was not trusting. So to what you were saying, I feel like it is a journey of worthiness, right? And really
Yes.
recalibrating to feeling worthy just being, and that's your standards. And for me, I just don't work with just any client. I work with clients that I am excited to work with, because if not, proximity spaces. If we're going on a journey for 1 year, I have a very thorough application process, and I'm going to make sure, and I have actually turned down clients that they said, oh, I would love to join the mastermind. I said, no, first join the Wombpreneur Academy. And then, after that, you can join the mastermind, because I don't think it's your highest time and just yet to join that, right? So if you are bringing this integrity, in your spaces, or in how you're dating and opening to meeting men or women, right? It's in this space where you know that you're in your queen frequency because you are living with your heart, and everything else is a byproduct, just like the money, the pleasure, the orgasm, everything is a byproduct of the embodiment of your divine frequency.
Mm. Mm. Yes. You know that when you want to say yes and when you want to say no. That
Exactly.
the voice of the womb and the yoni. Yes.
Ah, totally, totally. I love this.
Oh, Anna, this time flew by,
Yes,
and
definitely.
I hope that I have the chance to have some more conversations with you.
Yes, yes,
Beautiful.
totally. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really so special to connect with another beautiful sacred feminine priestess, and I just also, we were talking behind this podcast about, giving birth, and the fact that you have given birth to so many children, and this devotion and these big dreams. I'm so excited to see also what you have in store for humanity and for the path. And really, it's been such a beautiful honor to be in this space with you today.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Is there if people want to have more of you? You have talked about so many beautiful things that you offer. Where can they find you?
Yes, first off, for all the podcast lovers, if you love a good podcast, I have my Cosmic Wombs podcast, which you can find on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. In there, I have conversations on science topics, and I have the main anchor of spirituality. So I bring scientists, I bring people that are multimillionaires in the space so that we can have also these expanded conversations. I talk about pleasure as a healing modality, my womb awakening journey. So in there is a great space to start, which is fully free. And I also have on Instagram, you can find free masterclasses that I have in the Vault of Trainings already. If you want to start to dive into those, you can find me on Instagram at Ana with one N _Gazol, like gasoline, but without the gasoline. I always say this. So you can find me at Ana Gazol, and in there, in the link in my bio, you're gonna find a lot of free masterclasses. And also, if you feel excited by this conversation and you want to explore, just feel free to DM me and share where you're at, and I can always point you towards the best offer that is happening in that moment. So I'm always open to refer you to what's going to be best for you. But yeah, to start with, I have those free resources that can be really, really, really useful for your audience if you want to learn more about this topic on money, pleasure, business, and the connection with our sacred feminine leadership. So thank you for that and for having me. And it's been just such a beautiful journey to connect. And I cannot wait to see where we're gonna be in this journey for all of you listeners as well. It's like looking into your life and see, okay, what is my next edge when it comes to receiving from life? Maybe it is about maybe raising a little bit of some of your prices if you're holding space for others, or maybe creating an offer that it feels a little bit edgy, but maybe creating your first 5-figure offer if that's like an edge for you, or multiple 5-figure offer. Oh my God, right? And really allow yourself to dream big, and yet keeping your work accessible, right? And also connecting to your pleasure, making that commitment with yourself, like doing it at least once a week, connecting with yourself, making it ceremonial. And it doesn't need to be this huge, huge thing and ceremony. Yes, we love to do that now and then, but it's more about having the intention to make your pleasure your baseline, and always honoring your womb. If your womb is saying, I don't want to go to that family gathering, you don't go. If you don't want to go there, you don't go, because that otherwise builds resentment in the womb space. And I feel it's really important for all of us womb keepers to follow our wombs at all times. So again, thank you for having me, and for everyone listening. It's been so epic to be with you.
Oh, thank you, Anna. And thank you, everybody who listened.
Thank you, Helena. Beautiful.
Thank you for listening. If this was touching you, please feel free to share. And to find out more, check out the links below.